So I go ahead and start with an isosphere and I put the subdivisions all the way up to 5. Then I just take it into sculpt mode and put some symmetry on. And I'm really make like a really basic head shape with the grab tool, which you can get by just pressing G. I use the grab tool a lot because it just shifts everything around for you without ruining it. Okay, after that I use the draw to just make the eye holes, and then after that I use the grab tool to just grab and create the nose and the eyebrow ridge, as well as like the entire facial structure. I'd use the draw tool as well to then just make really bad ears, just to begin with. So this is like the basic head shape. So after that I remesh the head and I smooth it, and as you can see my smoothing was too high, so I lowered the strength. At the beginning of the sculpt I keep the strength really low, but later on I make it a lot higher. I'm right now using the Crease tool. I use this tool to define features as well as make features, so I use it to make the mouth crease. I remesh again and smooth and keep doing the same process of creasing and smoothing out just to define the features. So yeah, after remeshing, I smooth everything out and I just repeat the process of defining features again and again with the smooth tool and the crease tool. So right there I'm trying to define the kind of nostril flares of the nose, and then I go on to make like the folds under the mouth and just the overall wrinkles of the face. So right here I'm using the clay tool. I like this tool a lot. It helps add a lot of volume and it's very soft. I prefer it over draw a lot, and it just helps add volume to the face. So I just add it in areas where I want the creases and folds to be more prominent to give it weight behind it, and I just smooth that out and then crease it again, just trying to define all the features. You can see that I'm doing the same thing there with the lips. So right now this is me trying to fix my ears by just pushing them back more, and then I'm going in and adding like the cavity to the ear, as well as repositioning the jaw and everything just to make sure it's kind of accurate to real life. I would say the style I'm going for is mostly Dishonored, so it is a bit exaggerated. So here I am just adding a UV sphere to create an eyeball, and I just mirror it on the other side to have two eyes. Okay, so this is me actually doing the eyelids, and I'm using the, what brush is that? It's another type of clay brush, but it's clay strips. And I use this because it's just really easy and fast. And I just make sure that they kind of just lap around the eye. And then I go in with my crease tools just to kind of define the shapes a lot more. So that's how I make the beginnings of the eye. And then I remesh just to go back into some other details. So here is me using the draw brush as subtract just to add in the nostrils that I forgot to do earlier, and I take some time with the grab tool just to reposition around my nose so it looks more natural. And then again I'm going back in with the crease, just using it to make more creases. So now I've made the poly count higher, I'm gonna start on the ears, and it's just me trying to define and form the shape of the ear. I'm not very good at ears, but it's the same process. I just use the clay builder, subtract it, add it, use the crease tool to define sharp edges, just literally repeat that until it starts looking a bit more like an actual ear, and I just mess around with the proportions to see what fits his face the most. So this is me going into the eyes for the second time just to add some extra creases and wrinkles So right here on the edge of the eyelid, I use the crease tool to pull it out and create like a type of lip that we have in real life. It just really adds to it and makes it look like a real eye. And then around it, I just do the same with the creasing and smoothing to create the folds in the eye. So now that I'm happy with the overall face, I'm just going in and making wrinkles and just making this character look more older. And I'm just going in again and just redefining forms, adding things that I think should be there. Just going in and defining features. And obviously throughout this I'm using the Crease tool and clay build-up tool. So this is the second time I go into the ears, and I'm using my clay build-up tool, and I'm just trying to really define the faces using the crease and smooth brush to just properly flatten it all out and add some depth. And I mess around with the proportions a bit just so it suits my character a bit more, and I add that little flap over the ear that I forgot to add previously. So after that I do fix the head shape a bit because it was a bit wonky. So this is me just going in and adding some more detail with the crease and clay build-up brush, just to add some wrinkles that was missing. I turned the symmetry off and I used the grab brush to make my character a little bit asymmetrical. I think it just adds a bit, makes him look a bit more human and natural. So I'd say throughout this entire process the main brush I use is the crease brush with the clay build-up, just to really make every feature, as well as the grab brush. Those are the three main brushes that I will always use. It's the best. So this is me making hair, which I don't think anyone asked for, but this is just how I make hair, and this is without using hair cards or anything. It's just getting another sphere, putting it on top of the head, molding it to whatever you want, and then going in with the clay build-up, just trying to imitate strands of hair and locks of hair. So I just go and do that, as well as just shaping it again and again so it fits more naturally. So the entire process just consists of adding and taking away. Later on I did take off the symmetry and I used the crease brush as add to kind of just create the effect of individual hair strands kind of peeking out of the hair, as you can see here. So this is the final outcome. I added a neck, which I just didn't have time to record. So I'd say the outcome that you should take from this is that you should be using the clay buildup to make your forms, and then using the crease tool either as an add or a negative to define those forms. And you have to have good forms and planes to create a solid sculpture, otherwise you're kind of adding details onto nothing, which isn't going to make it look very good. But thanks.